Welcome to another edition of the National League South predictions for the 25-26 season. We have a record transfers, England internationals, and the hardest predictions to date. A fascinating end to last season. Let's see if we can get more of the same. Here we go. Totton achieved promotion to the National League South for the first time in their history with a playoff victory over Gloucester after an upward progression since 2020. You would think anyone who loses just 4 league games at step 3 would win that league. Such was the strength of Merthyr last season. But they got over the playoff pain 12 months before with that victory over Gloucester. An ambitious club who have a lot of experience in the ranks with the likes of Magri, Tanner, Randall, Osler. Jimmy Ball looks like he's been very astute in the market again this summer. Malachi Linton has always been that type of striker that will get that one move that would really propel his career. This could well be it. A threat for relegated Weymouth. He'll be hoping for more success this year than he achieved last year. Lee Hodgson played 30 times for neighbours Eastleigh last season and brings a wealth of experience. With Christy Ward comes in with league exposure through his loans with Hungerford, Slough, Weymouth and Tonbridge. A loan move for Tyler Cordner adds some really quality into this squad and will surely be one of the high performers in the National League South this season. I think while AFC Totton will still dip into the market, with the calibre of those, they'll be, for me, finishing in a very respectable place. Only the bottom 2 scored less than Bath City last season, so Darren Way's work will be to get them scoring more. Brad Ash's 7 goals in his loan spell was enough to make that move permanent in the summer, and with limited other striking additions so far, it will be down to him, veterans Scott Wilson and Alex Fisher, to improve on that. The summer signing of Jenkins Davies will excite Roman supporters. Him and a full season from Ewan Clark, with a bedded-in Jordan Alves, there is plenty of flair there for ammunition. Beardmore makes his loan move permanent also, and big admirers of a strong back line that they possess down there at Twerton Park. I don't see Bath improving this season, and they could just be in a little bit of trouble. Is there a bigger squad overhaul as Chelmsford this summer? Angelo Harrop is back in the league after guiding Braintree to promotion a few seasons ago, and you can't deny the quality they have brought in. The likes of Adesanya, Long King, Remy and Barbrick. Experience in the shape of Tom Lapsley, and the midfield, it just seems to be getting better with age all the time, is that of Ricky Holmes. The club broke their own transfer record for bringing in Barnet centre-half Joe Grimwood to make the back line full of quality. Let's not forget a player also I personally go on about quite a lot. Josh Hedges, a real talent. Expected him to move up the divisions when he left Salisbury, so a real statement by the Clarets here. You feel Chelmsford will be a lot stronger than last season. Will the complete changeover take time to settle? Maybe. But they have acted early, and with Jack Barham, he needs no introduction at this level. They've got quality all over the pitch. I do feel it's such a massive squad change to be title favourites right now, but they will be up there. When Chesham came up last season, you only needed a short moment to know they were going to be absolutely fine. The squad with the likes of Alex Lafleur, Lewis Rolfe, etc. were already a strong unit. Nathan Minyas this summer would have been high on the retain list, and he's just such a handful for defences with his strength. Some fans could be forgiven for feeling like this summer's recruits have felt a little bit flat, but they have added Dan Bayliss, a top performer when at Slough. Gio Rasulo is a player I really rate. Probably wouldn't have had his best season to date last year at St Albans, but he's a great pickup. Josh Adai makes a big step up, but the former Palace Academy player has the pedigree to grow. With a squad boasting players like Lynch, Stevens, Young, and the players mentioned, I don't see Chesham, a club who really transitioned to life at step 2 last year, struggling. Chippenham, a club that keep batting away the odds at this level. Is this the year it becomes too much? Gary Horgan has dealt with the blow of losing Matt McClure with adding Olaf Kozjela. 28 goals for playoff side Dorchester. Looks a very sound addition, and I'm sure he will definitely cope with that step up. Mayhew, Grant, Andrews, Parsons have stayed, and the Oxford City legend Reece Fleet brings some more leadership into that dressing room. Quelvin Castro will look for a full season and run a games at Chippenham that he really hasn't had since his move to West Brom in 2021. I do think they will be lower this year and more of a battle to survive than previous years, such as the quality of this league. When Dagenham were relegated last season, it looked bleak and a concern it might actually be a consolidation this year than battling for promotion. Then roll on the 12th of July, Yousef Al-Sharif took control and just casually added an ex-England international in the shape of Andy Carroll. Fresh from a spell in France with Bordeaux, Carroll's abilities will not only be a threat on the pitch, but also surely only enhance the dressing room with his presence. Before all this news, they had an appointment of a new management team of Lee Bradbury, assisted by Jerry Gill. Two experienced men in this field. Bradbury achieved promotion from this division before, and Gill has always had a squad strong of quality that his coaching ran through. The Daggers raided Farnborough for two of their top players from last season, with Reggie Young and Joe Haig swapping Hampshire for Essex and London. Donovan Wilson excites me in this move, expecting him to flourish. There are probably a few gaps in this squad still that I'm sure will be filled imminently, but bringing in this experience along with George Marsh and Ashley Hemmings, the latter last season's top scorer in the National League North, Dagenham will fancy their own chances this year. It's fair to say injuries played a huge part in Dorking's season last year. You would feel a couple of those not happening would have probably given an additional 3 to 4 points, which would have been enough to win the league last season. Nevertheless, Dorking amassed 89 goals, the highest in the division, but 11 times they failed to win at the difficult Meadowbank, and adding a few new options to try and break down those stubborn sides, they have done this summer. Frank Vincent, a quality addition, as is Denon Lewis, a pickup from Woking. Louis Annesley, a very clever signing from Mark White, and the ex-Blackburn man will no doubt elevate that backline. He did pick up an injury in pre-season, to which extent is not known at the time of this recording, but you'd hope it's not a long-term one and a nightmare start for Mark White, on top of the injuries he had to deal with last season. But with Rutherford, Pryor, Carter, this side will always score goals. There is no reason why Dorking won't be pushing for promotion again. So good to see Dover bounce back at the first time of asking following their relegation 2 seasons ago from the National League South, and it had to go to the last day with deciding if it was going to be themselves or Chichester City to be in those playoffs. But they got it done, and some cheer finally at the Crabble, which had been long overdue. I think the biggest news was the renewal of danger man Ruben Suarez Jr. 21 goals in the league, will be hoping to bring that form forward this year. They open the season at home to fellow newly promoted AFC Totton. In the squad will be Decoré Sheriff. Can LeBel get the potential out of him this season at this level? Ryan Hansen makes his move permanent. Kenny Coker makes the step up, tasting some National League experience previously with a loan spell at Chelmsford. With George Nikaj, Wilkinson, Charles Cook and Baptiste and co, they will want to right some wrongs from the disastrous season 2 years ago at this level. Can they do it? The Sports lost gaffer Adam Murray when he relocated this summer, and they really progressed last season, missing out on the title by just 1 point. It's a big test for incoming manager Matt Gray to produce that again. In addition, losing Courtney Clark, Kensdale and Yaya Bamba to the step above. He does still have at his disposal free-scoring George Alexander, looking to repeat his 24 goals from last season, which did include 4 hat-tricks in the league. Craig Eastman is someone Gray knows and a fantastic experience brought into the side. It'd be interesting to see the double loan signing of Crystal Palace's Victor Akinwale and Peterborough's Pemi Aderoju. A wait and see on Akinwale, his first chance of first team football at the age of 20. Harvey Linter was playing EFL last year and joins after a spell in Ireland. As things stand, you would expect a few more signings, but the base is there for another push near the top with a manager that has done it before. A club that has always been a threat at the top of the National League South, Ebbsfleet United. Last time they were here, they were champions and they amassed a massive 103 points. But they're coming off a disastrous National League season that yielded just 3 wins and 22 points, so a big turnaround is needed. I look at Ebbsfleet like Maidstone when they came down. Stones had Ella Kobe, who needed to show what he could do after a hard start to management, and that's what we have here with Josh Wright. One thing you can't deny is the quality they have brought in. Last season's second joint top scorer in the league, Kwesi Appiah, the leadership and know-how of Max Amer. Players that were very good at this level last season, Nelson, Fielding, Seaman and Peake, adding to a squad of players that have done it here before as well, with the likes of Toby Edser, Ben Chapman and Josh Passley. Will it all fit together is the question mark. It's a wait and see for Ebbsfleet United. I think Enfield have gone under the radar this summer. While there have been a small amount of incomings, they have been impressive pickups. Rory Donaldson is a brilliant pickup and Lamar Reynolds can flourish with the quality of Hisham Kasamu up front with him. Sam Youngs and fellow new man up top, Tommy Wood. I'm backing Wood to score a few this season. I believe McPherson, along with new backroom addition John Underwood, can get him really firing. Avan Jones is a player I like a lot, and keeping hold of the likes of Billy Leonard, Adam Thompson, Enfield will be fine this season, and maybe a little bit more. When you saw the names of Richard Chin, Young, Holmes, Haig leaving with not many signed on for next season, looked like it's going to be a difficult summer and be very difficult for Spencer Day's men. A club I try and put a case for to challenge those playoffs every single season. It's not really ever been a reality getting to the closing stages. They sat top of the pile after 13 games last season, still in the playoffs after 21. Then 6 games with no goals, a really crashing form. They never got close to breaking back into that top 7. This season they will certainly have a new identity. The 3 signings of Dominic Polion, Rakesh Bingham and Billy Clifford means that they do mean business. That with Lachlan Bird, if this continued signings are of the calibre, could this be the year they do it? I'm excited to go and watch them this year, and do they have enough at the moment, with potentially a few more signings needed for that squad to really push on. Alan Julian was on the way to being on my shortlist for Manager of the Year when, after 30 games sitting in the top half with a newly built squad, key players leaving last summer, but with just those 2 wins in the final 18 league games, they finished 18th, including an 8-2 home defeat to Farnborough. More key players have gone this summer, such as Dominic Revan, Taylor and Williams, but Hampton have brought in some players who have done it in the levels above, such as Ince and Grego Cox. David Radari is someone capable of scoring goals. Alan Massey has been such a leader for Maidenhead in the last few years, and I think fans can get excited about Stan Flaherty. Good pedigree from his youth career, comes in from Kingstonian and the former Newcastle and Arsenal Academy player, hoping to reignite his abilities at this level. I think it could be a tough season for Hampton and Richmond. Do they have enough to beat that drop and be another big team that falls out of this pyramid? I could talk about all the signings that Hemel have made this summer with interest. Keeping skipper and leader Kyle Ajayi is obviously massive for Ian Allinson. Injury ruin last season for Trey Cook-Appiah, and if he gets going again, that will be like a new signing. I'm very excited to see him return. Matthews Lewis is someone who will be a big threat. Hemel, a side who flew out the traps last season, only to fall down the table like so many did. But Allinson has acted quickly in the market, and you feel they're very well equipped to push at least those playoff places this season. Adi Aziz and Jake Gray, pros that will bring quality. Villetti was such a threat for Hampton last season. He finished with 11 goals and comes with great experience. It's a tough one to call, as they're a side that always promise more. You feel that they could be a lot stronger than they were last. For Hornchurch, it's been a summer of quality additions, I think this season they can really push on. The first season up was decent with a 9th place finish. A run of wins is what they will probably need to add. The Urchins didn't manage to win more than 2 consecutive wins until the final 3 games. Only 6 sides managed this, with 4 of those relegated, so that's something that McMahon will definitely try and push on for this season. Losing Liam Nash last season was a blow, but that ignited the scoring form of Darren McQueen and Henry Hearn, the latter making his move permanent this summer from Millwall. The 2 Joshes, Hare and Reese, will add extra dynamics, and Reese has got that prodigy of being able to find that back of the net. We all know how dangerous Charlie Ruff is in this league, another example of a well thought out planned squad from Daryl McMahon. He's opted for another loan number 1, that is in the shape of Arthur Nesta, who comes in from Wolverhampton Wanderers to follow the success, hopefully, of Mason Terry last year. At the age of 34, Joe Taylor gets a progressive move, a minimum of 30 league goals in his last 4 seasons for Lewis and Ramsgate. He will still score goals and so natural in front of goal to give that additional edge. Hornchurch will be a lot stronger this year. Dominic De Paula has been relatively quiet in the close season, with just the 3 additional attackers brought in so far. Last season's Isthmian Premier champions had a great year, and after 2 seasons flirting with promotion. Rhys Murphy staying fit will no doubt be a massive acquisition, and James Roberts knows the league and always gives that 100% to whatever side he's playing for. Botti came with high potential with his move to Tonbridge last season. He scored 4 after his January move. Horsham play with a good intensity that I feel will serve them well, loading the box with quality players like Lucas Rodriguez, Reece Meekums and Charlie Hester-Cook. Add to that the dynamic, energetic Jack Strange. They have a good make-up as they make their step to bow. Will not be plain sailing, but I think they have enough to stay in the league. Alan Devonshire is Mr. Maidenhead. He will no doubt want to get them back to the top level of non-league football, where they spent 8 seasons. They've added and cleared out a few, and one addition early on was ex-Salisbury left-sided player Jordan Raguet, was a top performer with goals, assists and energy that will only strengthen Maidenhead in this league. Kept on with the experience of Will de Havilland, Sam Barrett, Kane Ferdinand and the returning Harry Pritchard. Could be an exciting season as well for Jaden Mitchell-Lawson, where his flair could come to the fore. Will be interesting to see Asher Yearwood step up, certainly deserves it after an outstanding season at Gosport Borough. They, for me, still need 1 or 2 for that promotion push. Tipped last season to win the league by myself, but after a very slow start, it was defeat in the playoff final. That means another season here for the Stones. With that defeat, they've lost key players such as Blair, Oweka and Brooks, and the signings made for me doesn't showcase Elokobi's squad as strong. Granted, Gilbert was fantastic at Slough and Carvalho has lots of ability, and Tanga and Yeela are a wait and see. But process some great talent and potential, and Redfern has had a good score in return for a relegated side of Welling last year. Will Maidstone put it together after losing a big amount of quality from last season? The summer started with some real optimism at the Raymac. Yes, losing star Josh Hedges was a blow, but signing the likes of Matt Briggs, Josh Keogh, Mike Atkinson and Tommy Willard, they already had a good feeling for Salisbury this season. Ali Al-Hamad then stepped in. The Kuwaiti owner gives Salisbury a completely new structure and some real excitement for supporters. Although quoted to be building season this year to support Brian Dutton's already top job at the club, the signing of Matty Taylor whets the appetite, a prolific goal scorer who gives Salisbury some real attention. 1 point above the drop zone, better fortunes surely this season, and some lower league gambles with potentials with the likes of Higgs and Reavers. I am looking forward to seeing Salisbury this season. How many players do this club and Scott Davies progress into full-time footballers again this summer? Slavy Spazov, Gilbert, Ogbonna and Pruti have left to the level above all full-time football. While that will only give clubs the thought of knowing Slough is a great club for that development, at what point does it become an issue? At the moment, Davies has scoured the talents in the leagues below. Exciting winger Jared Myers impressed on his trial, and he signs up for this summer. Victor Markowski as well comes in from Flackwell Heath to be potentially that next scoring pedigree. Make no mistake, he's added some great quality too. Reese and Jordan Greenidge know this league and are top pickups. Tyrese Dice rejoins the club as well to give the Rebels some added quality. Not many better free goalkeepers than Adam Dubois, desperate to make amends for a year on the sidelines with injury. And of course, you still have Johnny Goddard and the gaffer. Craig Nelson comes into this campaign to defy the odds, really. One of the favourites for the drop. They lost some key players from a side who finished 17th, winning 2 of their last 11 as they started to adjust to life without Jay Saunders. Some exciting additions. Favourite Jordan Higgs returns. Matt Sablier will certainly be a threat, and I am a big fan of Bumley Babajide. Pert returns on loan from Wickham, and prolific goalscorer Eddie Simon is one to watch. 34 goals last season. He will hope for a better step up than last year's similar signing, Noel Layton. Missing out on goal difference for that promotion last season. For a new squad rebuild, it was quite an incredible season for Paul Watton, even though his style of play sometimes came under the microscope, just missing that added fairy tale. A squad still boasting Jordan Young, Sam Dreyer, Jordan Dyer and Matt Jay. The summer business has been nothing short of impressive. Keeping Lone Star Jordan Thomas, consistent midfielder Munesh Sundere, a real coup to land as well, ex-Bromley Louis Dennis. He has the potential to really unlock those defences that might have been missing a few times last season. Sonny Fish comes with big potential, enjoying loan spells at this level with Worthing, Tonbridge and Welling. He can score the goals alongside Cody Cook. Low Everton, Worthington and Dolan just adding that additional quality to Watton's squad. Expecting big things from Torquay United this season. The closest to any for a playoff place last season, finishing 8th. Long-term contract renewal for Sam Pearson, and it kept a lot of the squad. Western still have that amazing base to build upon. Max Harris has played over 100 times for the Seagulls, but on August the 9th, it will be his first game as a permanent goalkeeper. Not many better right-backs you will find in the league as Michael Smith, who joins from Yeovil Town after his promotion from this league 2 seasons ago. And Scott Bartlett has done a wonderful job at Weston, and the likes of Dodd, Kane, Pope always give their all. It will be a tough ask to go again to the levels they were, but they're certainly more than capable of doing so. Chris Agata has a big job this summer. It's been plain sailing for the Rebels in this league, bar promotion. A finish of 4th, 3rd and 4th has been achieved since the National League South introduction in 2022. They did well without Ollie Pearce's exit last summer. This year it's the turn of the exit of Danny Cashman. Haig, Willard and Fowle also depart. In a league that's been strengthened so much, it's a big task to finish high this season for Worthing. I did have Worthing a lot lower before the signing and return of Brad Dollahan, an exceptional talent. Along with Odokunyero, they look very set up top. And I think we'll see the best of Babalola this year too. He made great progress at the end of last season. They still possess the likes of Jack Spong, Cook, Beard, and exciting new signings in Razak de Graft and Frimpong. But I don't see the same heights as Worthing as what they've previously given us at this level. So there we have it. There's my predictions for the National League South 25-26. Let me know in the comments down below where you think each club will be and your own predictions. Who's the dark horse for this season? Don't forget you can go over to TikTok and follow for in-depth National League South, focusing on players to look out for this season, as well as some match details throughout the season. Thank you for watching, stay safe and bring on the footy.